taste? No, for the stupid Look, don't get me wrong. I like Starbucks coffee. I really do. I think it's some of the best chain coffee that I've ever had. But I'm not buying it for the logo. I buy it for the taste. And I've often said that the best coffee I've ever tasted doesn't come from a chain like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or Shoney's or whoever else is out there, Tim Hortons or whatever. Can I, personally, I don't like Tim Horton coffee. I don't. It's the Honeydew Donuts. It's okay. It's okay. Krispy Kreme. Personally, now maybe they've changed it, but I haven't had Krispy Kreme coffee in a few years. But the last time I had Krispy Kreme coffee, it was awful. I'd rather get my coffee at McDonald's. No, I take it back. I'd rather get my coffee at Burger King over Krispy Kreme. And Burger King has got some pretty bad coffee. But I'm not going to Starbucks simply because I want the stupid logo on my cup. So I can. Who the hell's going to be impressed by me drinking Starbucks? Some of the best coffee I've ever had is at a little place, little coffee shop, independent coffee shop in Keene, New Hampshire called Brewbakers. One of my favorite cups of coffee in the world. And the cost of it is actually less than that of Dunkin' Donuts. When I lived in Keene, I went to Brewbakers for my coffee. We had a Starbucks there. We had a Dunkin' Donuts there. And there are a couple of other coffee shops, independent coffee. I went to Brewbakers. Why? Because I thought they had the best cup of coffee. And I loved the little shop. It was great. But it's still there. I don't live in Keene anymore. I wish I did. Maybe I'll move back. Right now, I still have the freedom to do that. But I don't know. With all these laws coming down, new laws coming into effect, who knows? Maybe next year or the year after, I'm going to have to, go to some sort of moving bureau before I can move to a different town. Don't laugh. I know some people are thinking, oh, that Rod, he's a card. Don't laugh. Who would have thought just a few years ago that in some states you wouldn't be able to go to a farm of your choice in your county and just buy a gallon of milk from that farmer? Who would have thought that raw milk would be illegal? So don't even think that the possibility in this country of there being a moving bureau that you would have to get permission or a license or permit before you can move is far-fetched. Back in 1980, if somebody would have said, Rod, one day you're not going to be able to buy the kind of milk that you want to buy, I would have laughed at him. This is the United States. What are you, crazy? Of course we'll always, if somebody wants to buy milk straight from the farmer, if I wanted to go to the farm and just drink it right from the udder of the cow, I'll always be able to do that. No. Some states you can't. In some states, like Maryland, you can't live in, say, Virginia, go to a Maryland farmer, buy raw milk, and bring it back to Virginia. That's a federal crime, believe it or not. I mean, they're treating raw milk like it's bootleg whiskey. This is insanity. And we've got small farmers that are being harassed by big government on a daily basis. And it is being shown that they're lying. Oh, and we got other things too. The TSA wants to take over security in the entire USA, not just at the airports, but at football games. Just to name one destination. Oh, yeah, they want to be all over, folks. You really got to gird up on this stuff. Well, this is why you listen to me. This is why I'm here. I'm here for you. But this stuff is getting serious. And now we have this stupid, everybody's patting themselves on the back because they avoided a fiscal cliff. Are you kidding me? Hello, McFly. This was a self-imposed fiscal cliff. In other words, because Congress and the president didn't do their job to begin with, that's the reason. It's not because they were trying to do their job and they just couldn't agree. Oh, and then you got the president out there saying, well, yeah, Bonnier moved more than halfway in order to get this deal done. So I told you, folks, I told you. A compromise to a Democrat means that you agree with them. Because there's no meeting. This is the whole thing about John McCain. There's no meeting in the aisle. John McCain, I crossed the aisle to go talk. Because that's what they want you to do. To them, that's a compromise. So John Boehner, whatever, there's a rumor on Facebook that I guess that he's supposed to be resigning. Well, you know what? Good. I didn't like the dolt in the first place as being Speaker of the House, but that's beside the point. I can't believe he's going to resign. But the whole point is that they never, in order to get a deal done, Bonnier had to not do 50-50. He had to cross the 50% mark and go 60 or 70% to give the Democrats about 60 or 70% of what they wanted, while he only got 30 or 40% of what he wanted. No, a compromise is a 50-50 deal, but not to a liberal Democrat. No. You're going to cross the aisle over here. Come on. Cross the aisle. You got to agree with me. And so he caved and did. And we're supposed to oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Good Lord almighty, taxation is not going to be so bad. Oh, BS. There's going to be a lot of we'll give them 2 weeks to figure it out, but maybe not this Friday, but next Friday, there's going to be a lot of upset people when they open up their paychecks. They're going to say, what the hell is this? And for you Obamacare loving people, wait till you start going to the store and buying these so-called medical devices and see the tax on that. Oh, did they figure out, is a toothbrush a medical device? Well, it is a medical device, I suppose. It's for health. But are they classified? There are some things you wouldn't think you'd be classifying as a medical device that they're classifying as a medical device. So there you have it. I don't know. Maybe lube is a medical device. All that KY jelly stuff. Well, I guess that could be construed as maybe you'll pay tax on that. You know how you get people to hate taxes? You know how you get low information voters to hate taxes, even low information non-voters? You start taxing stuff that they like to do, or that they use on a regular basis. Now, I'm not going to say you tax the internet. No, you don't tax the internet. You know what you tax? You tax their online game usage. You want to see a bunch of people raise hell? What do you mean you're going to tax my game? Why not? Why not tax? Hey, could be because we've got 70% of the American people are either overweight or obese. And, the morbidly obese is now, around 25-30% and rising. Hey, now they're saying you can't drink a super size or can't sell a super gulp. So who knows? Maybe Mayor Nanny Bloomberg will, Doomberg down in New York City will want to tax your TV usage. You watch more than an hour a day? Well, you're going to get taxed on it. Why not? You got people out there talking about, well, we need to do something about all these allergies. Well, there's some growing scientific data and medical data that, raw milk helps with this stuff. Because it has certain enzymes and certain good bacteria in it that gets killed off in the pasteurization process. It happens with other foods too. And the farther that you have to ship this stuff, your food, when it comes in the form of especially vegetables and fruit, the more it loses its nutritional value. And here's the dirty little secret. Because there were these so-called studies that they pointed to, ignoring other studies, but they pointed to these studies that showed that organic vegetables and fruits and vegetables were not more nutritious than regular grown, what we call regularly grown fruits and vegetables today. You know, the ones that are laced with chemicals because they use chemical fertilizer and chemical pesticides. Here's the dirty little truth in those studies. Those studies showed that they were right, for one, but what they didn't tell you is that the organic produce and the non-organic produce were coming from the same sources over a great distance and being stored over a great period of time. So yes, naturally over time, they're both going to lose their nutrients. And believe it or not, because the non-commercial, non-organic stuff actually has less nutrients to begin with, it's going to lose what it has a little bit slower. Because there are no preservatives on it. Or there are preservatives on it. And then the organic stuff has no preservatives. So yes, it doesn't have as long of a shelf life. So it's going to lose its nutrients and its values faster. So at a point, there is going to be at a point by the time it gets from the farmer in Idaho or California to your table in Wisconsin or New York City, it's going to be the same thing. However, other tests have shown that when you buy organic from a local farmer, another meaning that the food has to travel less than 50 miles to get to you, versus non-organic food that has to travel less than 50 miles to get to you, the organic stuff beats the non-organic. Didn't hear about that, did you? And people, they've done the blind taste test, and yes, 9 out of 10 times, whatever that high number is, greater than the 80%, greater than 90% in these blind taste tests, people found that organic tasted better, had a stronger flavor, especially when it comes to things like corn, onions, and peppers. Just saying. But we're quickly having that option being eroded and taken away from us by government, federal government regulation. Not law, regulation. Yeah, these regulatory bodies can just change anything at the drop of a hat. They don't need to have a reason for it. Just a drop of the hat. So now you can't have your raw milk. It's getting harder and harder to have to get organic produce, and your small farmer is disappearing because of government regulation. And then we wonder why people don't eat healthy, and why when people do attempt to eat healthy, they still get sick. Oh, because our government is taking care of us. Know this, folks. There is more money to be made in big pharma, in big pharmaceuticals, than there is in big farm.
I always loved watching the kids play basketball. I still do, even though things have changed. It's funny, they can't find jobs to get their careers started, and I can't afford to retire. And now we're all living together again. I supported President Obama because he spoke so beautifully. He promised change, but things changed for the worse.